Welcome back to this video. In this video, we will be looking at SED. And SED is an editor, a stream editor for filtering and transforming text. Very useful for editing text in streams, possibly similar to awk or grep. Let's go straight into that and have a look and see that in action. So, in my current directory, I've got a couple of files, sample files. One in particular is sed.txt. So this is a simple text file that contains some string, keyword, a few keywords in there, so we can look for something specific to match. Got something that looks like a comment, and so forth. So let us get into that and see what we could do. The first thing we could do as a demonstration is just look at how I would, for example, replace this to do with done. I have hundreds of files, possibly thousands of files with lots of to do statements that I want to either remove or mark as done. So I go sed, and sed takes three parts: sed, a script, and the file on which to execute that script. So the script has a specific format. I'll explain this in a minute. So to do, done, and the file. Good. So what it's going to do here is sed, the command, is going to load this file in and carry out the operations defined in this script. Very short script. This operation is prefixed by S for substitution, which is really good for that. One of the most used thing that sed is known for is the ability to do efficient substitution throughout large text files. So carrying a substitution out, it will load this file in, and it will then look for all the to-dos and replace them with done. In this case, we only have one, but if we had multiple to-dos, we would have to add an additional directive in that command just to ensure that it does them all. That would be something like a G at the end. That would mean it does it globally for the entire file. But in this case, we only have one. So let's keep it simple. The output from this should have the new content of that text file with the substitution and the amendment done to it. Exactly. So there you go, the new output. And what was to do is now done. Now, if you go back and have a quick look at sed, you'll see that that original file remained as it was. It's not changed by default. However, there are ways in which you could change this file inline. If you don't want to have to copy that file to a new file, you could do that inline. But it's not best practice. If you start to modify files and making change inline, the changes are more or less destructive. There are no undos in the command line. So if you want to, for the same operation, what I would recommend is you use a redirect symbol and something like done, in this case done sed.txt. So what we'll do, the output from this operation will be redirected to this file. So now we'll have multiple files. We have a new file called done, and if I look at that file, done, you can see sed done has done, and that is how you would achieve that. Now, what else can we do? But just for brevity, I can also demonstrate to you if you really wanted to do it inline and not pass it out to a separate file, we would pass in -i for inline. But because I'm on a Mac, I have to pass an additional blank space, which is a reference to a backup file, because even the Mac operating system is encouraging you to have a backup file On Linux and different flavors of Unix, you won't need that. And depends on the version of sed that you're using, you might not need to put that in. So what you'll do from here, this will make the changes in line. If I go cat sed, you can see that is done. And done is now modify the original file. The next thing we can do is we can also delete a file, delete a line within a file. For example, that done, we want to delete that line. So let's change the script a little bit. We won't keep that. We will simplify this to just a pattern with a directive at the end, and that would be D, which this would go through that file, look for any line that matches this pattern and carry out this operation, which is D, that will be deleting. So you hit that, you can see the output from that, the line with done is gone. And this would happen for hundreds of lines, thousands of lines, pretty quick, quite efficient way. If you know exactly what you need to make a change to in that text file, you can do that quite effectively and take that out. Now, an additional thing you could do is, let's look at the done sed again. Let's do something else. What if we wanted to print out just the first two lines, or maybe the first and the last line, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a quick way to do that. Sed, if you know the line number within the file, the script would look something like this. 1, 4, and maybe P. So the first and last line, because we do know the line numbers of what we want to do, followed by the file. Let's see. You can see what's happened there. That's duplicated the lines. And that was not supposed to happen in that fashion. Let's see. Oh, I see. I wrote the file over. Let's do it again. Cat sed. So cat sed, if we go back to here, let's go for line and 2. It is duplicating. And why is it? Oh, ha! You need to parse the number, the line number, so that we'll look at the line number. Excellent. Good. I missed that. Now, -n denotes number, so it will only return the match. So now we're getting back 2 lines filtered. We can go back to make that first and fourth line, and there we have it. First to fourth line, actually. So return those 4 lines. That's kind of a quick overview of playing with sed. You got to get in there, play with the tools, see what it's capable of. There's so many more things you could do with sed. You could add new lines, you could inject additional data into a file, you can also insert lines between a specific line. So if you want to do advanced manipulation to the text file, you could go through, count the characters, count the lines, operate on the lines, trim the lines to a specific line, a whole host of things that you can do. But I think that should give you a little bit of a taste of what you can do with sed. And always consult the man page, because it has quite a bit. And in some cases, if you go to the bottom of the man page, you might even see examples. Let's go down. At the bottom, you can see examples of sed being used in line to substitute OM with example across a specific file and so forth. So you can also see here where sed is replacing foo with bar in a test text file. Similar example I've just shown you. So most of the stuff I've demonstrated here, you can find examples, more further examples in the man page. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one where we look at additional tools. Thanks again.